Today on the show, we have Teresa Aker, the powerhouse behind Success Diaries with Teresa Aker, where she's on a mission to prove that ordinary people do extraordinary things. Let's get into the show. This program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is my friend, Teresa Aker. Teresa, welcome to the show.
Bubba, it's my pleasure to be back to talk to you again. You are such a wonderful person. You're doing great things, and I'm always thrilled to see you.
Yeah, and it's been a little while, and we have both been busy little bees producing a ton of podcasts. I see yours popping up on my YouTube feed all of the time, and I'm sure the same for you with our show as we continue to roll out more and more shows and episodes. The Scene Projects just recently passed 1,000 uploads and 250,000 views, and it's just been crazy. I think when I was on your show, we maybe had like 1,000 views. So it's been quite the ride. But before we get into what we're doing now, I would love to give you the floor and just have you tell us a little bit of your backstory and some about your show.
Absolutely, Bubba. Thanks for having me on your show. First of all, it's always my pleasure. I truly mean that, Bubba. I started Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. The reason I did that was because I had overcome some losses in life. I had lost my husband and lost my daughter, and in a 3-year span. So I felt like grief was constant. And I came from a background of sales and motivational speaking. I've been a manager. I've led a team of people. I have an extensive background on helping people grow their businesses, feel positive about life. I'm always genuinely a positive person. However, during that time, I certainly had some struggles and some heartache, and it was very difficult to get through. So I had met up with a wonderful lady. She had written a book and was doing courses on grief, counseling, and was amazing. And I went through her course. Her name was Heather Stang, and she did such a great job. I thought people should hear about her. And she had a story of her own to tell. So I had been thinking about doing a podcast, wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it, but I thought she would be a perfect guest to start with. So I asked Heather, would you be interested in coming on as a guest if I started a podcast to help other people? And she was so great. She said, absolutely, I'd love to do that. So, Bubba, as you know, I'm not all techie. I said to Heather, well, let's see how it goes. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. Well, Bubba, she came on, everyone just loved her. She just was amazing. And she's so calm and caring. And what I found from that was I was on the right track. I wanted people to know that they could overcome adversity. Now, it didn't matter if it was grief, if it was financial, love loss, all kinds of people go through grief. Sometimes it's a job. Sometimes it's, losing a pet. Everybody has different forms of grief. And I was able to find guests like yourself, Bubba, who had gone through adversity and became successful. So I thought, what a great thing. I can bring everyday people, my neighbors, people across the world, people across everywhere, and bring their stories forward. And the thread that I found was, Bubba, every person has a story. And I've had a lot of viewers say, thank you for bringing them on because it helped me get through that. So that's how it started. And I also, because I have motivational background, I do some motivational clips, some videos on how to overcome adversity, things that I've learned along the way. I'm a proponent of people who achieve successes, including biographies. So I do follow those as well and bring those tips and ideas to my viewers. So it's a combination of those things. So that's how it went, Bubba.
I know that you had lost your husband, but I didn't realize you'd lost your daughter in that short span of time. So my heart absolutely goes out to you. So tough. And would you say that podcasting kind of, I mean, in a way has saved you from that grief, has allowed you by sharing other people's stories to, kind of deal with your own grief?
Bubba, excellent question. And as always, we kind of are in sync with each other. Absolutely, it absolutely helped heal me. It takes a long time with grief, and especially, and I can honestly tell you, my husband and I, he was the best plus one. I mean, and I honestly mean that. We had a wonderful marriage of so many years to all of a sudden lose him, and it was sudden. It was devastating. But let me add and compound that with losing a child is even worse than that. So we're supposed to not bury our children. And unfortunately, I had to go through that. And so the pain was unbelievable. Now, I do have a wonderful family still. I have a daughter and a son who are wonderful, and 4 granddaughters and in laws. My daughter in law and son in law, they're all wonderful. They support me. My friends are over the moon as well. So it's not that I didn't have support, but I will say, Bubba, the podcast, the talk show, if you will, absolutely helped me realize I'm not alone. And for the viewers, I actually did watch some YouTube channels, just like yourself, Bubba, because I wanted to see how other people, if they had gone through it, how they got through it. So I thought, why not? I can bring those very people to my audience, and it seems to be working.
Well, and it's no surprise, and it's not it's well known that talk therapy works for a reason, right? And that's kind of what both of our shows have become. Obviously, mine focuses more on music and musicians, but I started a whole other program called Get Better Together, because just getting on with at first my friend Sarah and then later with Jamie, just sharing our shit helped me feel better, right? And now we've continued to do that. We had a great episode of our show Love Noise last night with a young lady named Fire White, and same thing, just being able to let go of our trauma and to share that out there. And our medium for the most part has been music and using that as an outlet, but there's no reason that these podcasts in any form couldn't be that. The motivational messages, the talk show, any of it. It's how I say it's how God is healing the world. It's how we're healing ourselves, without being overly religious about it. But getting all of these things out of us is what's making us better. You heal yourself, you heal the world. And I don't know if there's a better example of that than you yourself, Teresa, and what you've built with your podcast, your talk show, and how you've allowed others to come on and to heal themselves. Even if they are people who have built success off of that, there's still small parts of us inside that are healed from sharing our story over and over again.
Absolutely, Bubba. And you are right. Some of the stories are painful and deep, and they get a chance to not only bring their story forward, they get heard. And that's important, because when we go through grief or anything, it does. And when I say grief, I actually bring stories, just so you know, Bubba, on the positive side. And grief is positive when you get through it. But I will say, just like yourself, I brought musicians on, authors. Now, I don't have a niche like yourself, but I definitely have brought authors, actors, directors, producers, people trying also to go through their steps in life, and they've had adversity on their way to success. So I'm all about helping them reach the goals they want to reach. So if my talk show can help them get there, that brings me joy. Again, that's the healing side. It's when I really believe this, Bubba, and you touched on it. To your point, you can call it God, source, the universe. We are all in this together. And as I won't go too deep, but honestly, we are in this together. I truly feel that. And if we help each other through, and right now we are all over the globe going through some difficult times. So if we can help each other just a little bit and just be a little bit empathetic and understand that we can help each other, we'll move mountains. We'll move all those people with struggles and with issues. We can help each other get through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, and podcasts are just the perfect encapsulation of that. Nobody has conversations anymore. Our life is all chopped up into short bits, text messages, and we feel like we don't have the time. And what it is that we don't make the time to sit and have, especially difficult conversations. Talking with those that have hurt us and expressing our feelings, and it's just something that's not done in this world. It's been a generations now of, especially men, I feel like get this, but now a lot of women have been told, that it's not okay to share your feelings. And, on both sides, for men, it may make you appear weak, right? And you're told not to. And for women, they're told, to not share your feelings because men don't like that. If you're going to find a good man, then you can't be an emotional wreck. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to not be okay, and to share that and to dig into those feelings and express those feelings. Now, not in violent ways or not in ways that are going to harm others, right? I'm not saying it's okay to lash out in anger, but it's okay to pull those feelings out and examine them and ask yourself, why are you so angry? Or why are you so sad? Why has this affected you? And to ask really hard questions of ourselves as well as the rest of society.
Absolutely. And I want to circle back a bit, Bubba, because one thing I did know, statistics have changed dramatically. More and more people are feeling lonely today. And the reason they're feeling lonely is because you're right. The generation that's come behind us, or after us rather, are now a lot on the internet, and they are forced to be, whether it be through AI, through communication. They're really on their computers, their cell phones, whatever, to reach out. It's a new way. Even dating, they've proven like 90% of dates are online. So I'm dating myself, but when I was young, the man picked you up and bought you flowers, took you out for dinner and maybe dancing and to a show. I know I'm dating myself, but that's what we did. Today, it's a whole new world. That young people are, and that's what they know. So they're okay with that. They meet online. They perhaps in time meet a coffee shop, and they do their thing, and maybe they date the same way we do. I don't know. I'm not dating anymore, but that's what they did. Now today, the thing I really feel they're missing, Bubba, a lot of the young people, this generation, and perhaps the one just before it, as the internet took over, they're missing the nuances of being face to face and having a conversation at a table, if that makes sense to you. So where we're talking here, at least it's better than just texting. Okay, so I can see you, you can see me, and we can talk. I think that is why our authentic talk shows, Bubba, are going to be so important in the future, because if someone's sitting at home alone, they can look and go, oh, Bubba and Teresa both went through something really, Bubba's successful in his business. Teresa went through this. They both have a talk show from different things, and they can look and they can feel like they're part of something and not so alone if they want to get answers or find out for themselves without feeling under pressure. Would that make sense?
Totally. And my wife is 10 years younger than I am. And I really, graduated in 2004. So right before, the invention of the iPhone and the connectedness of our world, right? We had cell phones, and that was such a weird thing because I grew up with landlines still. And I know I'm starting to date myself, but I'm much younger than you are. Not much younger, but I am younger than you, just a little bit, Teresa.
Sure.
And we come from a little bit different time, right? And I'm kind of that generation that had a foot in the analog world. And I remember pre-internet days. I remember Windows 95, right? Coming around, and my next door neighbor all of a sudden having the internet and not really understanding the repercussions of that connectedness and how it actually severed a lot of ties in our community. Right? You didn't necessarily have to be friends with your neighbor anymore because you could find connection with people that were outside of your neighborhood and across the wide world. And while that has so many benefits, right? Without the internet, we never meet each other. It also has a great many detriments because you're not getting out and communicating face to face with people anymore. And I think that podcasts are changing that. I think we've seen a lot of that, especially over the last few years, but really building over the last 10 years, that people crave that connection. People are craving real conversations. And it's why a show like Joe Rogan's, the top of the podcast world, are so popular, because it's just him and another person sitting down for hours on end, having a real conversation. And I hope that in time we can start to, we found it on the internet again, but that we can start to get together in groups again and to mingle. And that's one of the things that the Scene projects that we hope to build is taking what we've built in this community and to make a road show out of it, so we can get out and we can travel around with our hosts and visit our guests in their hometowns and meet with fans in those places. I mean, that's really what we're building, and hopefully what we're building to do next summer. I got out and visited a lot of areas this year on tour, and I'm very fortunate to get to play music and to have that to, be a good excuse to find a little bit of gas money in towns across the country. But what I really want to do is just connect with people. And whether it's fans or it's guests and new business owners and new people to have on the show, I'm just seeking that connection. And I think as more people see people like us that are seeking out the connection, that they will feel more comfortable in doing that as well.
That's excellent. So congratulations on your future endeavors, because I know you're already doing great things. You're going to go really far. Now, I want to circle back again to, I was talking about the young people, and you touched on something. You said, I'm going to go out and travel on the road and meet the guests and so forth. I would also say that as we get older, so between your age and mine, it doesn't matter where the gap is, as we get older, a lot of people do become retired, Bubba, and they tend to, their work environment and their friends and so forth do tend to kind of decrease a bit, and they do tend to stay home more. Now, that's not to say there isn't active seniors and all of that. I'm not saying there's not, but for the most part, it truly, your world does change as you retire. And I think there's also another opening. While you're out meeting and greeting people, there's a lot of people that are now they're going to see us on these talk shows. They're going to say, oh, I know Teresa, or I know Bubba. They did that show and I've been watching them. And then you're right. You get to meet them in the town and they're coming out more. And it's not to say that they're shy or can't come out. It's just as our worlds get too small, it's a little more difficult to know where to go to kind of get back into the swing of things. And so this gives them an opportunity online to meet people, to get their stories. They can tell their stories. And I encourage people, if you're retired or, thinking about retirement, start your own podcast. You have a wealth of knowledge. Oh my goodness, to give to all those people up and coming. You have knowledge. You're able to consult. You're able to share your incredible lives and overcoming your own adversity. Because boy, if you're my age, you've been through something. You're able to bring that forward. Wow, that's such a gift to give to people. So my point to you is, Bubba, you are right. There's a lot of positive that has come out of this. So although there's some negative, there's a lot of upside to this online networking, online podcast. I've met people in Iceland, in UK, in Australia that I would never have met. We would never have met if it wasn't for this. So there's all kinds of new wonderful ways to connect and to kind of alleviate that disconnect. I know you're going to do great things, Bubba. There's no doubt in my mind.
I thank you for that. And your encouragement early on. Like I said, I think we did our interview back in February and we were just starting out. We really hadn't, we had done 100 episodes, but that was rather easy for me. I had a fairly large network already built and I just interviewed all of the, the people in my phone contacts. Right. But when we moved to video and we started to open up our world, onto the web and to start to reach out a little bit further, right, than just our local music scene and our regional music scene, that my eyes really opened to what this could be. And it's the dream I had was always the same. It's just the scale increased exponentially as we opened that door and we realized how important all of these conversations are, and the connections, the network that we're building of all of these beautiful people that we've got to meet. And I couldn't agree with you more. I encourage everyone I talk to essentially to start a podcast because of the networking. It's going to bring you so much joy to talk to other human beings and to have a great excuse to have them on, because who wouldn't want to share a little bit of their knowledge or their business or their what, and then it gives you something to go on and to promote on someone else's podcast, right? So it's just in having the simple thing that, you know, a podcast, a talk show, it can be whatever you want it to be. It's a great excuse to meet other human beings at the end of the day.
Bubba, I would also add, you're helping young artists. That is so huge. Well, all artists, you're really helping in the music world. People, it's tough to break out in the world in music, and you're helping them, whether they're starting out or been there for a while. You're helping encourage a whole network of people on your own. So kudos to you, because that's huge. And that's what we're trying to do here. I think both of us, Bubba, in our own way, are just helping people achieve the goals or overcome whatever it is they're going through, and then tell their stories so that they can keep going. And networking, I would say that the networking side, exactly what you said, is the most important. And have you noticed that even, and I'm going to say about you too, the networker, the podcast group help each other. I've been helped by so many podcasters, and I've helped other podcasters to get to where they want to be. I'm so proud of our group. When I say that, all over the world, podcasters all over the world helping each other. I love that.
And I had an opportunity to go to Podcast Movement down in Dallas this year. We got one of their scholarship tickets because, you know, winning the Content Creator of the Year award gives you a certain cachet in the world. Thank you very much. And so we got to go down, and I got to meet some really great people. I got to meet Adam Curry, the Podfather himself. And I got to listen to his talk. And his talk was all about, you don't need 1 million followers. You don't need to be chasing these CPM models of advertisers. Go find your community. What community are you already in? Do you have a chess club, right? Look, it doesn't matter what it is. I was very fortunate to be in a community of already creative people that made it really easy for me to jumpstart that. But everything the man said was exactly what I set out to do as soon as I started my podcast. And Teresa, I literally listened to it, went, okay, took off my headphones, put them in the bin, and I left the conference, right? Because if that's what a lot of these people were paying the ticket price to come and listen to, and there were some really great speakers there, you know, talking about the technical sides and things. And we have a pretty firm grasp on it because of our background in audio production as musicians and what we already knew from that. Once I heard Adam Curry kind of deliver that message, it was like, I have heard what I needed to hear here. I had driven 15 hours from South Dakota to get there, and I slept in my truck because rooms were $250 a night. And it's like, okay, I think I'll just sleep in the truck. Thank you very much. And hit the 4 hours of the podcast or the conference, and got to go and stay at my friend's place and to rest up so I could drive 15 hours home on Tuesday. And it was just but it was such a blessing to be there, to be surrounded by other podcasters and all the people in the industry. Everyone is so gracious and so just so welcoming, and everyone wants to support everyone, because it's not an easy business to be successful in if your metric of success is money or fame, right? Like if those are the two things that you're measuring for success, right? That you may never get there, but the impact you can have, and if that's how you're measuring your success, right? Then it's huge. And the impact that we've had, not just on the artists who have come into it, but the impact on my own life. The impact on me has been tremendous. And I think that's really why I encourage everyone to just, start whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Whatever your show is, there's so many different formats now that you could try. I love to meet new people. So an interview format for me was just easy, but there's plenty of people that can fill up an hour just talking by themselves or covering a topic and covering the news or anything. It's just, get out there and do it, right? You know, get a webcam and hit record and just start going. And I feel in much the same way that, you know, music is an inspired craft, so is podcasting. You're going to find the thing that speaks to you and that allows you to speak your truth, and then just don't stop. Just keep on going, and it's going to have an impact on the world. I promise you that.
Well said, Bubba, honestly. And I would add, I know this word gets thrown around a lot lately, is authenticity. But I can honestly say, be yourself if you're going to do it, because it's one thing to have a mentor. Like you mentioned, Joe Rogan, great, great person to definitely have a mentor for and see where he's going. But be careful you don't try to do too much like other people do. Just take what you can from it, enhance what you have, and stay authentic. And that's going to keep the distance going. People want to know you, Bubba. They don't want to know a new form of you. They want to know, who's Bubba? What's he all about? How is he helping? What's he doing? I want to follow him. So they want the real Bubba. You know, if that helps anyone, you really, I always say, stay true to yourself. I have been true to myself from the beginning. This is real. This is, my guests are real. It's from the heart. And that is what resonates with my viewers. And I like that. I like that they're able to say, you know what? It's real. I like that. It touches their heart. When a guest tells their real story, it touches my viewer's heart. And that's what mine is all about. And you're helping other people in the music industry getting to where they want to be. And you're helping yourself along the way. You are a huge success. Well done.
Thank you so much for that, Teresa. I'm going to let you get out of here because I'm sure you have more interviews to get to of your own today, and you're such a busy lady. And I appreciate all the work that you're doing for other people out there, allowing them a space to tell their story, and for having me on your show. I think at some point we're going to have to catch up and to do another episode and to update everyone on even more success that we've had. Go ahead and plug everything that you're doing and let people know where they can follow you.
Great. So I have my YouTube talk show and podcast, whatever you want to call it. It's Teresa Aker. It's Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. That's Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. You can go over to YouTube. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. You can follow me on social media. I'm a social media junkie. Connect with me if you're a motivational person, you need some motivation, or you are a motivational person. I'm happy to have you on. If you're any adversity or anything, any success story you have that you can help our viewers, love to have you on my show. And Bubba, you are welcome anytime to come back.
Well, I can't wait to do that. And Teresa, I want to thank you for your time this morning. And I want to thank you for being part of the scene.
Thank you, my friend.